Got it.
Okay. Get my sound.
We good?
Yeah.
It doesn't get any louder than that.
Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay,
Sounds
Larry,
great.
Larry,
Now
one
we
more
might
thing.
wanna-
I'm
Okay.
gonna read, I do a reading, I'm
Okay.
gonna do it right from here.
Okay,
With
that's
this
great.
mic. Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
When Baba's
Well,
invitation
definitely
to
remember
the
to turn the
Darshan
page here because I'm
came,
following you
I was a
so
student at
closely.
a
I'll need it
Pacific.
to just bend that.
So now we just need to have the actors come up and try to.
Right, who do we have here?
Thank you for my prasad.
Do we have anybody?
Prasad.
Actors,
Sarah, can you come up and do a sound?
do we have Ellis? Do we have Zoe here?
Can I run to the bathroom?
Go.
We're trying to find out where Ellis is.
Uh-oh. Is he on the bus or something?
No, there's no, I don't know, maybe he is. Okay. Where are you going? Up there?
7 up.
Good morning, Joel. He can't do. Good morning.
That'll be good. Are you getting a cigarette?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Also, I just took that alt out.
Oh, okay.
Larry, you could take my mic off if you want.
Remember this moment.
Take his mic down fast.
How long are you here for? You here for a few days?
Good for
Oh, okay. You have work. You have to get back.
This is easy.
3 months in the retirement?
Yes.
Oh!
5 minutes, 5 minutes.
Oh, right.
This is kind of pure chaos. And you know, major, you know, needed support on the stage. And we have a monitor mix, so we have another one of these. So.
That's somebody else running, right?
Yeah. And we have a pretty well-trained stage group. It's intense. I brought like serious front of house engineers here. I had them sit on the board. After 15 minutes, because you know, usually you set up a mix and you sit back and you tweak it. This is like
Sight reading and
yeah.
complicated organ the whole time.
It sounds great. I mean, I was recording off the camera mic yesterday. It sounded pretty good. I wanted to get cleaner for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are UPQ mine.
50,
Yeah. We have 35. These Amartithi.
Amartithi, the whole hill
all
is.
those whole
Yeah.
hill pumps.
35
John Meyer.
Jim is Helen.
Jim's on the East Coast.
Yeah, Jim is the other guy.
Oh, the other coast.
Yeah, John and Helen.
They're the same couple. The San Francisco area?
Yeah, Bay
Yeah.
Berkeley.
They have one of
They consulted with our sanctuary sound, right?
Probably.
We're getting we're moving in after a couple years, LV1. So we're kind of do some little bit of work for Wave, so I'm kind of doing it only just so we can switch through. I give some workshops for them.
Do you record multi-channel on board?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we put an SSD drive and it only does 18 channels for some reason, 16 plus 2. It does a stereo and then 16 is kind of weird because you got a couple of extra mics over here. It's like it doesn't do it, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, we do multi-track, and then, or you can do USB and then run like Pro Tools or Reaper or something. And in that case, you can watch it.
So you're just using that like an interface.
Yeah, exactly. But this, if you're just doing just off this, then you only get the 16 plus 2.
What's that? Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Okay. Okay, how come we're not getting her?
Testing. This is Dot Cooper. Is that okay?
Yeah. Gokuran, your
Jay Baba.
Gokuran, your mic is off now.
I'm going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, your mic is on.
My name, say your name is.
Jay Baba. My name is Michael Evans, and I'm going to share an anecdote on the first day of Darshan in 1969, followed by a poem about that day.
Michael, if you could just get a little closer to the mic when you're talking.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that the right? Is that the right?
Yeah, as close as you can get actually is good.
About like that?
Yeah.
About like that?
That's
Okay.
good.
Great.
Trying
Okay.
to figure out how
Good.
to
Thank
take
you.
off the M and L.
All right, Gokuran, your mic is.
I looked it online.
Gokuran? Jay Baba, Gokuran.
Said he was,
Gokuran.
when he was here, he was in there trying
Jai
to
Baba.
figure it out. And he said he was-
He could get as close as he
That's about right?
wants. Yeah.
Good, Doc.
Closer the better.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. I'm Zuhair Alpha Key.
Should be in the manual.
Poetry. Finished? Do you need more for
Yeah, again,
second?
just as close as you can to the mic is best.
He's coming in a half hour, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Talking to you.
Get as close as I can to the mic, like right about here. Right here.
Good, good, yeah.
This is a
Do you
24-hour.
want me to talk into it, not over it? Okay.
Usually when you're using a mic, you're talking to it.
A comedy troupe.
I was giving that wonderful advice.
Welcome to the world of the hard of hearing. Charter member right here. That would be the idea. So we have Steve, Michael, Kevin, Zuhair. You're number 4. Ellis should be. So he should be a.
You know, Huey would take that off. He's got the same camera.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय.
He's sick.
आप सब लोगों से एक रिक्वेस्ट है.
Downloaded the manual here. See if I can find it.
You know how you
अपना आपका सेल फोन और मोबाइल फोन को आप बंद रखिए. जो लोग हेडफोन लगा के ट्रांसलेशन सुन रहे हैं वो सुन सकते हैं, बाकी आप नीचे. ऊपर आने के लिए अभी नहीं होगा. और दूसरी रिक्वेस्ट आप लोगों से ये है कि आप लोग पीछे जब प्रोग्राम चलता है तो आपस में बात मत करिए. लोगों को डिस्टर्ब होता है, जो ध्यान से प्रोग्राम सुन रहे हैं, देख रहे हैं, उनको डिस्टर्ब होता है. तो आप कृपया ध्यान रखिए कि आपस में बात नहीं करें और सेल फोन को बंद रखें. हेडफोन आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं ट्रांसलेशन के लिए. और अभी हमारा प्रोग्राम शुरू हो रहा है 2-3 मिनट में. तो आप लोग सब अपनी जगह पर बैठ जाइए और ये जो प्रोग्राम अभी शुरू होगा तब आपको बताया जाएगा क्या क्या चलेगा इस प्रोग्राम में. और कल जैसा दोपहर को जो लोग 3:15 बजे यहाँ आ जाएंगे, जिन्होंने बाबा का दर्शन किया है 69 में, तो वो सामने स्टेज पर आ जाएं तो आपका फ़ोटो उस ग्रुप का 69 ग्रुप का फ़ोटो हो जाएगा. कल कुछ लोग रह गए हैं जिनकी बस नहीं आ पाई थी हॉस्टल डी से, तो वो आज यहाँ पर सामने आ जाएंगे. तो उनका फ़ोटो उस ग्रुप के लिए शाम को उतर जाएगा. और दूसरी बात ये थी कि कुछ सेंटर्स हैं जहाँ पे सेंटर चलते हैं, उनको एक किताब सौविनिर जो इसके लिए पब्लिश हुआ है इस कार्यक्रम के लिए, वो यहाँ डॉक्टर गोवर्धन श्रीवास्तव बैठते हैं. तो 12:30 बजे जब ये प्रोग्राम ख़त्म होगा तब आप सेंटर का कोई रिप्रेजेंटेटिव, हर एक को इंडिविजुअल को नहीं मिलेगी, वो केवल बाबा सेंटर्स को उनकी लाइब्रेरी में रखने के लिए मिलेगी. तो आप वहाँ से उसको कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं.
Hey, you do me a favor and plug in that charger for your boxes?
Into this box over here?
Yeah, the long strip, just wherever. No, it's actually plugged in. It's just you need to plug in the thing into that.
Oh, which one is it then?
Well, it's the only one that fits in there. It's that 3-pin. It's somewhere there. Okay, it's the one, the square.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय.
Square one.
Kindly take your seats. We are just soon starting our morning program of the second day.
Be careful because it shocked me yesterday.
Is that why you sent me over? Thank you.
And our morning program today is, there are 3 presentations. One is a Sufi group presentation. Second is Pune Center presentation. And third is Hyderabad Center presentation. So these are the 3 presentations. And now we begin by welcoming you all to this special program where we are commemorating the 1969 special darshan, which is termed as the Great Darshan of Guru Prasad Pune, which was held between April and June 1969. So you are welcome to this particular program. इस कार्यक्रम में बाबा का एक स्पेशल कार्य हुआ था, विशेष कार्य हुआ था, और उसी को उसकी याद करने के लिए, उसको समझने के लिए हम लोग यहाँ एकत्रित हुए हैं. सिर्फ हम ये सोचते हैं कि बाबा ने इन तिथियों में ये कार्य किया है, मगर उसका क्या मतलब है, उसका सिग्निफिकेंस है, उसको समझने के लिए हम लोग यहाँ पर एकत्रित हुए हैं. और जो प्रेजेंटेशन या प्रस्तुतिकरण आपके सामने होते हैं उनको आप ध्यान से देखिए कि उसमें बाबा का क्या मैसेज है, क्या कार्य है, जो जिसको समझने में हमको 50 वर्ष लगे. अभी हर एक की अपनी स्टोरी है, सब कोई आपके सामने आके कहानी बताते हैं, पर उस कहानी का उद्देश्य क्या है, उससे हमारे लिए मैसेज क्या है, हम क्या समझ पाते हैं, इसकी आप कोशिश करिए समझने के लिए ये प्रोग्राम. Now today's presentations are, first is Sufi group, second is Pune Center, third is Hyderabad Center. And to welcome you all,
This powers that.
I would like to share one very important thing.
Can you figure that while you're...
In Baba's Samadhi, we have 2 Western artis. One is Australian arti by Francis Brabazon, and second is American arti by Hank Mendel. And then we have 2 Hindi artis and 1 Gujarati arti that is sung
Which one?
morning and evening in alternate way
Going over here to the...
in Samadhi.
Loud because this is live, please.
Now, what is my personal experience? We had a chance to meet Francis Brabazon, and whenever the Australian arti is sung, inadvertently, whether we try or not, Francis Brabazon appears before us as if he is there to share that particular thing. And not only Francis Brabazon, but the whole Australian group appears at Avatar's abode. So Aarti is not just simple recitation of anything that is individual, but it is a collective thing. When we do Baba's Aarti, the connected group also appears as if they are sharing with us. Now we also had a chance to meet the person, Hank Mendel, who has composed this American Aarti, and today he is sitting with us. Hank Mendel, please. and these emotions are very individual. Whatever I feel, you may not feel. But what I'm sharing is my feeling that when American Aarti is sung, then we remember all the Western people. Hank Medlin is there because we have seen him. Similarly, when Bhauji's Aarti is there, then the whole
While you are here, think of me, just think of me, and only of me. Think of anything else, and you are not present here. If you talk of anything, speak of love, and only of love. Speak of anything else, and you are not present here. To be here, you must keep me in your thoughts, speech, and actions. To be here, you must make me your constant companion. So begin today, start this very moment, begin to love me as I should be loved. Begin today, start this very moment, begin to love me as I should be loved. Love me as I should be loved. And no sooner do you begin than you will become, and you will feel. You will feel freedom, lifting you freedom. ocean of freedom. When you lay down your life at His feet, you feel freedom. Freedom in accepting every task at hand, to obey the beloved's every wish and command. This is freedom. When you lay down your life at His feet. Freedom, limitless freedom, like a breeze coming from an ocean of freedom. Freedom born of honoring the one true self. Freedom born of emptiness, now filled with God Himself. Freedom, freedom, limitless livingness, freedom.
Well, good morning, new humanity. Jai Baba. 50 years have gone by, so that's, from my calculation, 2 generations have been born and come to adulthood since 1969. My name is Steve Oversby, and the title of my story that I'd like to relate to you is Getting Ready for the 1969 Great Darshan. By way of introduction, I'd like to dedicate this little story to several people who were here at the 1969 Darshan and who feature prominently in this story. So I'd like to dedicate this little talk to Murshida Duz and to 2 of her preceptors or associate teachers who she designated and then Meherabad approved and appointed, which are Anis and Selma Hassan. They taught us classes and opened their homes to us and counseled us as young hippies that had turned into Sufis, you know. And so they were wonderful people, but they also carried a sense of authority. And so this will come out in the story, so I thought I would mention that to you. And just, I would also like to dedicate this to David and Winifred Kershaw, who couldn't be here also. And they were very dear friends of mine, but that's another story. So I will start with this story entitled Getting Ready for the 1969 Darshan. And I think I'll read a lot of it simply to keep myself on track, if you don't mind. So I was asleep. That's how the story starts, you know, sleep. And I awakened to the sound of clattering against my bedroom window. I woke up and looked out the window. To my surprise, Selma, my preceptor, had her arm cocked like a baseball pitcher and was about to throw more pebbles at my window. She looked very serious, motioning to me to come out. Selma lived next door and had gotten me my job as a caretaker and a houseboy for the Proctor's Mansion in Santa Rosa, California, USA, while I was a student at Sonoma State College. Murshida had let her know that I was, for my first year of college, living in a 58 Chevrolet, and Selma took pity on me and got me this job where I had a roof over my head. So, and this was next door to her house, her and Anis's house. So I went to the back door. In a hushed voice, Selma told me to meet her at her house. There was no friendly greeting, No, how are you, Stephen? None of that. I surmised I was in trouble. I had only been an adult for a year. I was 19. This all seemed serious and unusual. I couldn't help but wonder if I had done something wrong and was going to be reprimanded and chastised. So I was pretty concerned. Well, anyway, something was afoot. I hurriedly got ready, putting on a winter coat, and ran through our adjoining backyards to her back door, her sliding back door. She let me in and ushered me into the living room. No formalities. We didn't sit down. We squared off. She said, "I have bad news." My heart sank. Baba has dropped his body. Baba passed away on January 31st. This was a total shock. We were scheduled to go to India and have his Darshan in a couple of months. Now her husband Anis and Alan Cohen were going to India as soon as possible. After a moment of silence, I asked the big question. Did he break his silence? She shook her head no. Next question. Can I go with Anis to India? No, it's going to be a very hard trip, and maybe we'll go later. I've been looking forward to Darshan with Meherabad in April. Baba said that he wanted to meet his new Western lovers. Over the last couple of years, our names had been sent to Baba, and some of us had written to him. Meherabad had sent our names to him. So the next Friday, I think it was, at the Sutter Street Center in San Francisco, Meherabad announced that we were still to go to Darshan, and we were to get ready to go. Now, having a loved one die was new to me. It seemed that attending Darshan was now going to be attending a memorial service. I was new to these somber events of adulthood. I didn't know what to wear. I didn't know how to behave. I felt I had to get ready and to be worthy to receive Meher Baba in my heart. So I left the meeting that night with my mind filled with these serious thoughts. I took the elevator or lift down to the first floor and walked down the cement steps to the Van Ness and Sutter Street corner, which is a busy traffic corner, lots of noise and honking and lots of people on the street, down to the sidewalk to wait for Selma Nice to drive back to Santa Rosa that night. To my surprise, an ethereal presence greeted me. As I stood there, the presence introduced himself as Baba. His personality. He shared his divine sweet presence, which was not limited, which was not inside my head. He was external to me. He was right next to me, embracing me with his love. I understood in silence that Baba simply wanted to greet me and let me know that my heart was ready enough for him. He was very fast and soon moved on. Perhaps he had gone upstairs to meet more of his lovers. I didn't mention this to Selma Nice on the way back. It was too incredible. Baba is alive. And he's very talkative in his silence. My sister Karen and I traveled together to India as members of Meherabad's group. Karen and my friend Rebecca were arty dancers. In Guru Prasad, as our group sang the American arty conducted by Henry Mindlin, the arty dancers, dressed in flowing pastel colors, performed a beautifully choreographed dance. We had all practiced the arty and memorized the lyrics. We stood up and sang it. The song resounded with power and beauty. It was beautiful. In contrast to this grand performance, Baba's women mandali with Mehera and Mani, assembled on stage and sat together in a small group. They began to quietly sing their deeply devotional Eastern arty to their beloved master. Their voices carried a longing and a love for God with a tinge of sadness and a melodious beauty I had never imagined or heard. Their song was moving and even transporting. They were so pure and sublime. Probably there was not a dry eye in the house. No other music has ever topped that experience. Their song is still matchless in my heart. Perhaps their song purified us in a way and made our hearts ready to go to the Samadhi. There's more to this story, 50 years more. But that is how my life with Baba in my heart began. Now we are all here together in Meher Baba's heart. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Baba family. My name is Michael Evans. I'm going to share an anecdote from the first day of Darshan in April, Great Darshan, and then a poetic rendering of that day as well. I approached Baba's chair on that first morning of the Great Darshan, and as I did, past strains of consciousness numbed and new ones unfurled, all in an infinite eye blink. Everything dissolved except his chair, some semblance of this body, and the distance between us closing with each footstep forward. I placed my head where his feet would be waiting and felt an initiating of an inner urge to merge in some way. So I waited to see what would be. And all of a sudden, my entire being was swept up and lifted by the most ethereal fragrance. I dwelled in it, and somewhere in my mind, an idea spoke faintly, saying, "How kind of the Mandali to sprinkle perfume on Baba's footrest." Then that echo slipped away amidst all that followed and happened. Well, later, I told Mani how touching it was that the Mandali had scented Baba's footrest. And she looked at me squarely, straight in the eyes, and said, "We did not do that. That was Baba." With this anecdote as the setting, here is a poetic rendering of that first Darshan day, both current and retrospective as well, when his life-changing prasad kiss profoundly unfolded. This verse comes as the time veil lifts a little, and I began to see what happened, for then is now, and now was then. As his question whims answer endlessly and beginninglessly unfurls, "You are who I am." It is 9 o'clock, and you have kept your appointment with God. Erish's voice rings throughout Guru Prasad. 300 California pilgrims sit in silence, free of time and space, as they place their heads at the Avatar's feet in their hearts. By your leaving your body, beloved, you become supremely present in us. This leaving lifts a veil so that your truth lives ever more fully. You and I are not we, but one. Suddenly, the perfume wafting from your feet captures this mendicant, opening floodgates of surrenderless surrender. Its sweetness far beyond the splendor of your entire vast flower realm. Your lightning eyes vanish further the veils of separateness, weaving a one-ship of companions sitting before you. Firestorms of your Duni feet turn all concepts of God to white smoke. Looking up to see your gentle eyes, gateways to the godhood of your humanity, eternity deconstructs into the now. And with a wink, you laugh inside of me at your crazy joke that you could appear to have left your creation when the yoke of your body breathed away, while you reconstructed the universe of your original "who am I?" question. Your answer flashes through your body as it returns to the original fire tesh, burning away all physical separation from you. And you hold my hand at the pivot point that continuously moves forward as your answer proclaims, I am the glorious Kalki avatar. We are one. Gallop onward with me, my lover. I have come to race us ever homeward into the infinite dawn. Take my darshan, drink from my sun cup of silent union and wild ecstasy. Be the light that you are, that I am. We, one. All. Only. Now. Jai Baba.
Be the living God. You have come here to become my love, to know and to serve the divine in each and in all. You were born to share the treasure of this birth, to manifest this purest love here upon the earth. Give all of self, and I will reveal myself in all. And suddenly you will know only me. Suddenly you will belong to me. Suddenly you will see only me. Suddenly you will be everything that you see, a part of you, everything that you do, of love for me, all you were born to be, everything one with me. Accept my grace, dance to my rhythm, and tune yourself to my key. Seek my grace, find me in everything, open your heart to me. Merge with me, give me your life and resign yourself to me. Dissolve in me that I may enfold you and you may become my feet, my hands, my breath, my heart. You will become me.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin, and my story is called In Your Silence. Baba, in 1968, you first broke your silence in my heart. I was 18, and upon hearing your name, I simply accepted you as Avatar, our beloved. I was met with open arms at your Myrtle Beach Center and spent many quiet hours in the lagoon cabin. Your silent presence opening and flooding my heart with joy. Then, a year later, I suddenly found myself flying off to India on the most exciting adventure of my life. But many of us coming from the West to your great Darshan were very young, and most of us had not seen your man form. And you dropped that too after inviting us to your feet. Everything you did was for us to ensure that we would know you as you truly are, love itself, living at the core of all life. At 20 years of age, I was staggered by the poverty I saw as my plane descended into Bombay. I was a Westerner, and I marveled at the sadhus meditating by candlelight in the hills as our train slowly left for Pune. I was spellbound by this amazing ancient land. I bought clothes and instruments and acted like a boy from America. But then I fell quietly at your feet in front of your chair in Guru Prasad. I gave myself completely to your service, but had little understanding of what this commitment really meant. I was so blessed to meet your beloved Meherabad, and, like John, I nearly left my body when embraced by your sister Mani. She was love itself, like a limitless ocean of tenderness. At the Pune Center, I next felt the force of your silent, loving embrace in the arms of Darwin Shah. It was as if East and West met in my heart through these two close ones of yours, and I was filled with your sweetest living presence. We flew home in such pure happiness, our cups overflowing with joy and gratitude for having found you, living so fully in the hearts of your close ones. We are ever grateful, beloved Baba, for your grace light and for the delight of knowing and becoming you. We have come to live a simple, quiet inner life of joy and peace, knowing it is our greatest privilege to walk hand in hand with you and silently serve your most perfect world. I went home and added a footnote after the lovely meeting yesterday. So for the last 50 years, I've always thanked Meher Baba for giving me the best job in creation. In June of this year, Ellis Pines and Marilyn McGivney orchestrated a lovely retirement party for me, celebrating my 52 years of working with young children. The theme was, "The Luckiest Man Alive." Today, I want to thank 3 special Darshan companions. Ken Lux for telling me of Meher Baba and sending me straight to Myrtle Beach. Jane Haynes for her total love for Meher Baba and for me. And Dolly Lux for bringing me to Meher Baba's Universal Sufism Reoriented. These 2 days of celebration have made me keenly aware that we, Meher Baba's Eastern and Western family, are truly the luckiest family alive. Thank you. Jai Baba.
Good morning, Meher Baba. Did you sleep well? The 2 years before Meher Baba dropped his body were a fiery period for me. Everything was getting into place and falling apart perfectly. My education, I'd finished a BA, traveled to Canada, was living in -10 to -20 degrees centigrade weather, which was always memorable. The course of study I was taking, I realized, was not really what I wanted to do. Yet I felt committed to continue it because my father had helped me do that. So one day I went to a cafe there to have lunch in Canada while I was studying, about a month or two after getting there. And I was conversing with a man behind the counter who was also from the Middle East like me. We were speaking in Arabic. We were talking about people and governments and corruption and the sort of chit-chat most young people are involved in the Middle East. And he turned to me at one point and he said, why are you wasting your time here? And I looked at him. This was upward on my mind. What should I do about this situation? And I said, what did you say? And he said, no, nothing will change. The corruption will continue. I tried again and realized he didn't know he said that. And I heard it. So within 3 weeks, I had closed out my studying there, given up the apartment, returned the rented furniture, packed my bag, and was off to see my sister Sania in Michigan, where I spent a few days thinking about Baba and the upcoming Darshan in April. And I had a dream. I was flying through the air, landing at a big concrete entry to a huge building that looked very much like Guru Prasad, except it was maybe 10 or 20 times larger. The doors were about 8 meters tall, maybe 2 meters wide, thick like that. And they were closing the doors, and young men were saying, come on, get inside, come on. And I landed and ran inside. A few other people were running with me. We got in as the doors shut. And inside it was very dark. The men were sitting on the right, the women on the left. There were no windows, just a dais, almost as far as the Samadhi is from here. And I could see Baba clearly sitting on it, and maybe other people around him. And I thought, I am lucky to be here. And I woke up. So then I continued from Michigan to California. I needed to find a school. I needed to find a career. I needed to find myself. Everything else had pretty much shattered and fallen away. And I got to California the last week in January. And a little background here. My family includes 7 siblings. I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers. The eldest sister, Selma, who was a neighbor of Steve for a while, had been my guide and mentor. She's 14 years older than me, but I never got a letter that didn't have something that could teach me about how to lead my life in it, without being preachy. She then, I went up, I was received, I was met at the airport by her husband and niece, and we drove up to Santa Rosa at their home there, and very soon, she called, or Murshida Ivy Deuce was talking to her on the phone, and she called and said hello to me. Now, Murshida Ivy Deuce was Aunt Ivy to me. When we came to the United States, I was 6 months old, and Murshida would say, I met Zuhair when he was a baby in his mother's arms. There were 6 of us then, a 7th child came along later. And of those 6 or 7, 4 of us met Meherabad. Selma, Sania, Ida, and my brother Khalid. I'm often mistaken for him. Usually the next sentence is, you've lost a lot of weight, haven't you? So, there at the home, Aunt Ivy said, would you like to come down? We have Sufi class on Friday. Why don't you come down and I can say hello to you? So I said, sure. Now, I knew a little bit about Sufism, but not correctly. I thought it was a religion devoted to Meher Baba. And after living in the Middle East, I had really no use for religions. As far as I was concerned, they were political organizations that spoke in the name of an absentee landlord, if you will. But when I got to there and I saw Aunt Ivy, I didn't see her. I saw Murshida. And I sat in the class, and Selma took me and helped me find a place and sat with me, and then we had the class. And I realized then this was the school. I've been bothered all my life when I was young up to that point, and less now, by having thoughts that I thought were inappropriate at times. I realize now this is the ego doing its little trick, not our soul, certainly not our higher consciousness. But I wanted to stop it. I felt sometimes I would smash my head against the wall just to end that from happening. But I knew enough about the mechanics of life to know that suicide was not a way out. So when Murshida finished her talk, and I was met by many Sufis who greeted me lovingly, I realized this would be my home. And I had dreams about that. I'm not sure I had it that night. But I went to bed that night back in Salma's home, and when I woke that night, that meeting, that class I attended, that Friday night class, was June 31st. January 31st, 1969. The next morning, Steve had pebbles thrown on his window. So the doors just closed, and I got there and joined them. We were met, just one little note, I said Murshida met us. Her husband, James Terry Deuce, was also with her. We called Uncle Terry. And I'm mentioning that because his name is on the Tower Memorial that's being completed near Mandali Hall. So what happened after that is Selma, all of whose children, 4 of them, are Baba lovers. She has a grandson right there who's a Baba lover. Decided we should write a skit to entertain Murshida, whose birthday was the same day as Meherababa's. And hopefully we would write skits for Meherabad because she was pretty sure we would still go. But the Mandali now were still in shock of not having Baba with them. And this would get sorted out soon. And she thought we would probably be going to India. And Murshida Ivy Deuce thought that too. So we started preparing a few skits, we being Selma, who wrote it, my number 4 sister, Gita, who came here with us. She's not here, she passed on. And along with a Sufi named Ken Hastings, we came to the Darshan. Now, many of you talked about what it was like to be here, to come to Baba in that Darshan. I felt something as the car proceeded from our hotel to go to Guru Prasad that day, April 10th. And it got stronger and stronger. And the only way to describe what was going on was as though all the love in the universe had been compressed into a point at Guru Prasad and was radiating out to us. And the closer we got, the stronger that love became. So that before they got to the gates, I was weeping. And I couldn't believe quite what was going on. I didn't need to. It was just fine. We got there, and I was on the ground on the right side, midway to the level of the men, where Erich greeted us, as you know, and as you know, we got up. First, the ladies got up. I believe Mehra was first. I don't remember very much, but I do remember as everybody bowed down, tears came from my eyes, and they continued doing so. I could never understand how so much water can be processed through the eyes. But it was on for like a faucet. So we performed our skits later. And I was standing with Selma, and Erich came up and said, "That was very good. If Baba were here, he would say, 'You, stay here.'" I mustered up my best false modesty. "Thank you very much." And he said, no. He brushed it aside. He would say, "Here." I said, Erich, is that an invitation? He said, standing, standing. I'll just close with one thought. We've talked about what Meherabad was doing, where Meherabad was, and Steve gave a lovely presentation of what Baba was already doing before we got to Guru Prasad for the great Darshan. I believe that Baba removed the barrier and burnt away what Michael Evans said, the matter, the material that was between us. And he reveals, he reveals himself to us. What we see and what we hear is him. I could never greet you anymore as dear brothers and sisters, because while that's warm, it's not true enough. Dear Meherabad,
Hi, my name is Julia Skiff. When Baba's invitation to the Darshan came, I was a student at a prestigious music school in New York City, and like many of us, had no money. However, having come to Baba the year before, I was in a sweeping honeymoon state, and I said to all and anyone who asked that, oh, there was no problem at all, because if Baba wanted me to go to the Darshan, it would absolutely happen. And I believed that with all my heart. And one day, the phone rang, and I was told that 3 people were giving me the bulk of the amount of money needed to go, and with the loving generosity of a year to pay it back. I had no way of seeing how I would pay it back, but there was Baba. Well, then, freshly returned from Darshan, I was back at school and walking down the street one day, and it occurred to me that money wasn't coming to me. I was virtually living on nothing. How was I to pay back the money gift even in a year? Then, the prestigious music school moved into the most prestigious performing arts center in the United States. And there was to be a huge concert by the orchestra, which I was in, to celebrate it. And it was to be conducted by a famous orchestra conductor, Leopold Stokowski, and was to be a very big deal. In our rehearsals for it, he would say spiritual things like, think of infinite sound. Sound is infinite, infinite. And I sat there in the orchestra saying to myself, you've got to tell him about Meher Baba. I tried and tried, but in the end, he was too big of a deal and I was too shy. Well, we had the concert celebration, and we learned that they were to pay us for it. Pay us, students, a huge surprise. And how much do you think they paid us? Yep, it was exactly the Darshan amount, exactly the amount needed. And so the money was repaid in less than 3 months. But that's not all. 40 years later, I read in Lord Meher that the famous conductor I mentioned, Leopold Stokowski, had met Baba. When he met Baba in 1931, Baba said to him, you are a good soul. You will do good work in the future. You will inspire others through your music. I will help you spiritually, and you will feel my help. So there, at Lincoln Center, today still the most prestigious concert venue in the United States, but then in its beginnings, there were 2 of us, one fresh from Darshan, and the other leading, who actually met Baba. Now, on the 50th anniversary of the darshan that started all this, I increasingly see Baba's world of perfection suddenly new in transformation again and again. Ages upon ages, moons slipped aside, earths were born and died in this vast sea of creation. Suddenly a divine transformation, something that has never happened. Only here it suddenly happened. The goal of every incarnating soul. And now, like a great symphony, we've reached the turning point. We've reached the turning point. Oh, perfect mirror, oh, world of perfection, oh, realm of silence, oh, eternal presence, now suddenly new. The Lord of creation has sent us in a new direction. Suddenly the chrysalis unfolding, currents of divine force lifting and integrating, awareness expanding, divine grace suddenly descending. Oh, perfect mirror, oh, world of perfection, oh, realm of silence, oh, eternal presence, perfect mirror, oh, world of perfection, oh, eternal presence, now suddenly new. Oh, beloved, we have found you in the whirling waves of stardust. When least expected, at the hour ordained.
Jai Meherabad. My name is Gary Rutkin. At the age of 20, I heard about Meherabad through a booklet named God in a Pill. And in 1967, I met and heard Dr. Alan Cohen, who spoke about Baba at my college. I graduated college in January of 1968 and went into a Peace Corps training program. A man whom I never met sent a letter to my home, which found its way to my Peace Corps training program. He introduced himself, enclosed the Baba card, and recommended I buy a copy of the discourses to take with me on my travels. He was the professor who had invited Alan Cohen to speak at the college in 1967. The Peace Corps was a confusing time in my life. Among many experiences, I lived in Nepal, traveled to many parts of India. I bathed in the Ganges, I attended melas, and met many remarkable people. And in fact, Zuhair reminded me, one remarkable person I met said, "What are you doing here in India? You should go back to America, you'll find what you're looking for." However, in Nepal, I had suffered from dysentery many times. and I rapidly lost 60 pounds, and I felt very aimless and left the Peace Corps and returned home to America. In February of 1969. A few weeks after my return, a friend read in the newspaper about a celebration of Mayor Baba, which was to take place in New York City. It was his birthday celebration. So we decided to attend, and at this celebration, I met the college professor who sent me the letter. We befriended each other, and he told me he was going the next weekend to visit some Baba lovers in Woodstock, New York, and would I like to come along? I said yes, and stayed at the home of Tom and Yvonne Riley. On a Saturday, they had a guest visitor named Darwin Shaw. He and I sat together often, and he told me of his many, many meetings with Mayor Baba. His face and voice glowed. It reached into my heart and touched it, and that when he mentioned that he was returning to India to go to Baba's Darshan, I blasted out, "I want to go too." I think he looked at me and said, "I think you very well might go." So I told my professor friend and mentioned after the Peace Corps I did not have any money. He said I should raise whatever I could and that he would try to help me. I tried several angles, and I tried to borrow anything I could, but nothing would work. My professor friend said he was going to visit a woman named Margaret Krask, and would I like to come along? Miss Krask was remarkable, and she was a very straightforward woman. She asked me about myself and my plans for life. I told her at that point I was clueless. After we left, my friend told me that Miss Krask had given me a check for more than half the money needed for a ticket to Darshan. Much later, when I tried to repay her, she told me it was a gift to and from Meher Baba. Coincidentally, we found out from Fred Winterfeld that a plane ticket to the Darshan had just opened up. A person no longer wished to go. I told Fred I wanted to go, and I told him how much money I had. So he said he would give me a loan for the rest of the money. And that way, I had a ticket to the Darshan. All of this took place during March 1969, and the Darshan was in April. Suddenly, I was sent in a new direction, traveling back to meet the Lord of Creation, back to India, and to become his lover less than 60 days after my stay there. I got on a plane with young and older Baba lovers, very excited to travel to India. I did not know anyone. In fact, I knew very, very little. I had read very little about Meher Baba or his people. So I knew nothing about the life that these people were so excited about. When we arrived for Darshan, we were warmly greeted by those at Guru Prasad. One of the first people I met at Guru Prasad was Alaba. And he came up to me and he told me his name and he said, "I am Mandali." I had never come across this word. I had no idea what Mandali meant. I met a man named Francis Brabazon who grabbed me and looked me in the face and said, "Don't I know you?" And I said, "I don't think so." And he heartily laughed and said, "Not from this lifetime." And indeed, I was slowly learning who the Mandali were. Now, as I had lived in Nepal and India, I was not unfamiliar with bowing before a master or a samadhi. And at Baba's chair, I bowed low, covered my eyes and ears, and I heard a murmur from women sitting at the side. They were commenting on my Eastern approach to bowing before Baba's seat. These were the women Mandali. Our Western Darshan was in the morning, and in the afternoon, groups from India came for their Darshan, This is a very similar story to my sisters, the Cindy's, that you heard yesterday. One of the young Westerners who I met suggested that we go to Guru Prasad. Let's see what was happening. Indeed, there was a program for an Indian group, and as I stood on the veranda looking in, Eric spotted us, and he invited us to come and sit in the back. And at one point, we were ready to leave. A member of the group, a Sikh, caught up with us, and he looked at us and said in very clear English, "Always remember Baba is here. He never goes. He is with us right now. Baba never leaves us." He said this with such force and conviction, I felt its truth throughout my body. So 50 years later, I know that Meher Baba found me. I fortunately accepted his grace and the eternal presence of his everlasting love. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. I'm Dot Cooper, and what I remember from Darshan is mostly pictures, little mind movies, like a woman with her goats on the street in Pune, riding bicycles to Guru Prasad, Eric standing up and saying it is now 9 o'clock, and Francis with his delightful wit delivering his mighty beloved speech. I doubt that words could really describe what really happened at Darshan. Hearing other stories here, I'm getting a global picture, really global, like his love is flooding the world through all of us who were there. But at the time, we did try to put some of our experiences into words. Mani gave us some pink sheets to write down some of our experiences to give to the mandali. And, sorry, it's there. And then she put some of these in the August family letter, which is the only reason I even remembered later what I had written, because otherwise it would have been a blank. And what I wrote was, at Darshan, I began to feel the beloved's personal, special humanness. Before he was, through all of you, through the mandali, before he was overpoweringly God and Christ, and now he is infinitely more, being our beautiful Baba, the man, our friend. Every day he is more God, more a mighty beloved, and every day more man, more especially Meher Baba. I remember on the third day of Darshan, Baba was so close and full of love that every time I heard his name or saw his picture, I just cried. It was so incredible, for he is the only one in my life, and he has come to let us know of him. Well, years before, I'd had a few experiences of deep knowing that kind of just appeared. They welled up. And in 1964, after seeing a very inspiring movie, I found myself gazing out the window, feeling a breeze on my face, and the words came to me, "Now is the time for the Christ to come." And when I went to college in 1967, I would find myself singing a song with my guitar. And it was, "There's a new world a-comin'. Oh Lord, there's a new world a-comin'." I didn't know where this came from. And then in early 1968, I first heard his name. And I visited a friend who had his own radio show at the university. And he was talking about Meher Baba. So I was curious, and he lent me a book, Stay with God, by Francis Brabazon. And I took it home and read it that night. And I felt as if the sun rose. And I couldn't dispute it. I knew it was the sun. I knew Meher Baba was God. So when I went to Darshan, I was totally with Baba. We were doing Baba work at the university. I knew he was God. But then he gave me a fuller idea of his infinite being through the example of the people who had lived with him. The mandali were a reflection of his humor, his fun, his attention to every detail, his close, loving concern for everyone, for each one. And they were living love for him, and he was radiating love, his love through them. And now it's our turn. It's the time of his new breeze, his new creation. And as Baba said, the only thing which will count now is love. But a year after Darshan, I may have gone overboard with my focus on Baba's form. I think I was seeing Baba a little separate or apart, like in the past, like he was gone. And I wrote to Francis and told him I was missing Baba. Well, he set me straight quickly as an airmail letter in 1970 could do. And in a very kind way, he sent me a poem called Four Dot. And just a little note before I read it. You may scratch your head about a one line that has robins, which were birds that I was seeing out my window. And I told Francis, the robins are braver than I am in facing life's challenges. And then he says, let zeros cancel zeros. And I scratched my head about that one for a long time. But I think it has to do with balancing or canceling sanskaras as we're placed in opportunities, in situations where we can think of Meher Baba and make him our constant companion. So now I'll read his ghazal. Do not sigh for the beloved of the old days. Let your sighs fan the flame of your this moment praise. Let zeros cancel zeros. Even the robins have brought you heartening news of battles being bravely fought. Don't let anyone tell you that we're not all in the same boat. Those that saw him were seeing no more than a beautiful coat. His physical presence was his challenge to us. Here we are, here I am, now find me. But even when I am found, nothing but the rope of my name can bind me. Whether one saw him or not, he is still knocking on each heart door. And each heart is still harboring strangers. What matter some few, some more? Chuck out the want, strangers, and make your house his comfortable home. And remember, he's hungry, but will eat only name honeycomb. If the beautiful beloved were not here, where, oh, where could he be? There is not a drop which does not contain oceans, oceanity. Jai Baba.
There we go. I have tried very, very hard to get out of this. And Gokaran has trapped me. So my given name is Henry Mindlin, and Henry Mindlin is the person who wrote the American Archie. Hank Mindlin wrote the Mononash Calypso, the God Speaks Blues, the Parvardigar Polka. So when we have to be serious, we have to be appropriate. And in America, Hank is not a noble-sounding name. It's associated with country music, and I don't mind country music, but how can one fathom country music? So I have to speak to you as Henry now, and I have to try to address in some way Gokaran's question about why is it sometimes we and sometimes I. And before I attempt to improvise an answer to that, I want to say very quickly that it's appropriate that we talk about the Arti here because the Arti was given its premiere at the 1969 Darshan. As Steve described, we had 7 ladies in the 7 colors of Baba's flag who did a beautiful, beautiful dance in Guru Prasad Hall. And every single person who was in the room at that time was affected by that first performance of that melody. It just soared up and soared in, and people have written about it in many ways. Then the following day, Meher said, can you please sing it again? And we did it without the dance. And that was the day that the electricity went off. And so throughout the program there, people who were trying to do skits or trying to do songs, that's how it sounded. until the moment the arti began. Then the lights started flickering. And everybody, not just me, noticed that they flickered exactly in time to the music. So I thought, oh, Erich is back there with his little light switch, and no, there's no light switch, and no, Erich was in the front. So I thought, we all felt Baba was giving his approval of that. And it was immensely forceful. Everyone felt like they were pushed down to the floor in obeisance and humility at the end of that, which was the end of our performance. So it's appropriate to talk a little bit about that song. All I can really say about it is both Francis's, what became the Australian arti, and the one I did, are based on Madhusudan's arti that the Pune group does, Jaha Kalpana. We each took a translation of some kind of that and made a verse out of it. I don't know where Francis got his translation, but if you read it or sing it, you see it talks about the lights and the tray, the arti tray. It talks about the ceremony and the meaning, the deeper meaning of that ceremony. I got a translation sent to me by Murshida Deuce. I had been a Sufi for about 3 months, and she calls me up, and she says, I'd like to see if you can write an arti. And I said, okay, what's an arti? And so she explained that she had seen the performance in the 1962 East-West gathering of the arti, and she wanted something that we in the West could sing. We couldn't sing the Indian tune very well. So she sent me a 78 RPM recording, that's how long ago this was, and she sent me a translation that had been done by Adi, and I puzzled over it for a while, and then I wrote some verses. And then I tried to figure out a tune, and how do you write a universal tune? You know, do you, Avatar, Avatar. No, I don't think that would work. So the tune just sort of came, and the words just sort of came, and Murshida thought it was wonderful, so we made a recording and sent it to Baba. She sent it to Baba because she was the one who had asked. And Baba sent it back and said he liked it very, very much. But there was one line that referred to the arti ceremony, the lights and the platter. And he wondered if that could be changed. Because in the West we won't be doing an arti ceremony, we're going to be singing a song of praise to him. Okay, so I wrote back and said, well, Baba, what would you like to change it to? And the answer came back, send me some ideas. Okay, so back went 4 more verses. The one he liked was, at your command, suns and stars give their light. So that just got put in. So technically, this person named Henry Mindlin wrote all these words, and Baba approved them. But Baba liked the arti very much, and he wanted it sung. And he made sure that every time we sang it or we talked about it, we emphasized that Baba said that anyone can write an arti. There's no such thing as an official arti, an official American arti, an official Eastern arti, official Gujarati arti. Anyone can, because arti for him meant a song from the heart. That's all it is. And when I look at the words to this now, I see how incredibly appropriate it is to now. Because if I can try in some way to answer Gokuran's question about why is it sometimes me and sometimes we, other than the essential nature of having to rhyme a word, which is basically the reason. So why would it say, offer is mine and gift of because it's the gift of your love divine? Well, that's acceptable. But then we say, though we beseech you, how can we seek you? So it's not consistent. And I frankly blame Baba for that, because he looked at it and he could have proofread it and he could have done something. But if he liked it, it's going to be good enough for me. So I could invent some sort of mystical explanation of it that would be completely false. And people would enjoy it, and then they'd say, oh, you know what he said, you know, but it's not the way it is, it's just the way it came out. But if you think about it a little bit, the one thing that I see in common of all of these experiences that everyone has said in the last 2 days is that there was a life-changing event happening. Some of us were not aware of it at the time, and some of us are just becoming aware of it now, and some of us will not be aware of it for another 2.5 lifetimes. But it happened. It registered on our consciousness. And it registered as much as it could in what feeble little awareness some of us like me have. Something happened. I don't know what it was. Some people were really changed. Why haven't you changed? Well, I don't know. But anyway, when you look at this, you see that's really the subject of this arti. It's how can we understand you? A glimpse of your shadow has blinded us. Your shadow is all the world. How could your glory ever be realized? We don't say how can your glory be realized because that means it can't. We say how could it be realized? Well, there's a way. And the way is the refrain. Now we go back to mind. Consumed is my mind. It's not consumed as our minds because we have to do the work individually. In your fire and flame. So that's all of the passions, the desires, the thoughts, the fuming things that we do personally. That lower mind has to be burned away. And Baba will take care of that for us. Oh yes. Then consumed is my heart in the sound of your name, and that was answered by Dot's poem, the beautiful poem from Francis. Your name is the thing that pulls you to me. So we're taking care of consuming the lower mind, the individual, and we're consuming my heart, which is bringing us close to you. And all of these shifts between we and me are focused on the fact that those are going away. There isn't going to be any we and me very soon. It's all you, you, you. We're going to be fortunate enough to know that we are him. And all of this idea of us or me is total illusion and total falsehood. And that is what Dot was referring to as the new creation, which Baba talked about many times. He said he had come at the end of a cycle of cycles that went back to the beginning of creation. And that's why he was speaking the word now. Because that word is the same word that began creation. And the word he released when he finished his work in July of 1968 is the same word, the same great vibration that will now begin a new creation. When man will no longer simply ascend into the Empyrean blue divinity and never come back. But the divine life will be lived right here on this plane of earth. And Baba's work, as I understand it, from what I've read of it and from what I've felt of it, was partly to bring in the energy of that word. Francis had that beautiful phrase about the word is the movement of his silence, and the silence is the stillness of his word. When the silence moves, it moves down into creation. And it inundates all the planes. And then it inundates this gross world, and it changes and awakens the quality of matter itself to support a new consciousness here on this earth. And when we have that happen, one of the musts that Baba worked on referred to it, Nilkanthwala must. He said, the God-made world is coming. The man-made world has passed away. And we've changed that a little bit to say the mind-made world has passed away, and the God-made world at last has come. And Baba took us over the threshold in 1969 to give us a taste of that and show us that his world of perfection is right here and right now. And as we move forward into his manifestation, that is more and more what we will be doing and seeing and feeling and becoming by letting go of I and we, even though it's still sung in the arti. And so here's a song about that, about the awakening of matter itself to divine love, so that we can live this God-made world.
Another world is pushing through, being born in dawn's new light, taking form in me and you, clear in love's unclouded sight. The second word resounds today. The Lord declares his work is done. The mind-made world has passed away. The God-made world at last has come. Love awakes in matter now. perfect divinity are perfectly merged in life. Oh, Mayor, your love is all there is, your love is all there is, your love is all there is. In Matter's heart, the Spirit's glow awakens in the darkest deep, and in its fires love shall grow, while the wise men talk and sleep. Immortal hearts, immortal bliss, captures nature by surprise, and earth, receiving heaven's kiss, grows unexpectedly divine. Love awakes in matter now. Love illumines matter now. Love is all that matters now. Heaven dreamed of perfect earth, earth in pain for heaven longed. Now the new creation's birth joins them in a single song. Bliss and pain in truth unite, fear and falsehood disappear, and we, embodied living light, know the hour of God is here. Love awakes in matter now. Love illumines matter now. Love is all that matters now.
Thank you so much. If I did not put a wrong question, the right information would have not appeared. So thank you so much. Thank you. Now we have our next presentation from Pune Center. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
I can start. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। आज यहाँ पर प्रियतम मेहर बाबा के दरबार में उपस्थित हुए सभी मेहर प्रेमियों का अवतार मेहर बाबा पुणे सेंटर के प्रेमियों के तरफ से हम जय बाबा करते हैं। प्रियतम मेहर बाबा के पृथ्वी पर के जीवन काल में तथा अनेक अवतार कार्यक्रमों के प्रारंभिक तथा अंतिम चरणों में पुणे शहर का बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा है। मेहर बाबा पुणे में जन्म होना और उनके प्रथम सद्गुरु हजरत बाबा जान उन्हें उनके सर्वोच्च आध्यात्मिक स्थान का साक्षात्कार कराना, इन घटनाओं में पुणे शहर को एक विशेष सम्मान दिलाया है। कुछ घटनाओं की संक्षेप में उल्लेख करना मैं आज जरूरी समझता हूँ। बाबा के आध्यात्मिक कार्यक्रम का प्रारंभ पुणे के कस्बापेट में हुआ था। पुणे में बाबा ने प्रथम बार 14 जनवरी 1956 मकर संक्रांति के दिन को आम दर्शन दिया था, जिसका आयोजन पुणे के प्रेमियों ने किया था। 1958 में मेहर बाबा के सहवास के बाद हर वर्ष बाबा पुणे में आते रहे। उनका वास्तव्य गुरु प्रसाद में रहता था और कई कुछ एकांतवास चंद वर्ष छोड़कर हर वर्ष बाबा प्रेमी जनों को दर्शन और सहवास देते थे। नवंबर 1962 का पूरब पश्चिम मेला पुणे में गुरु प्रसाद में संपन्न हुआ, जिसमें अनेक जिम्मेदारियां पुणे केंद्र के प्रेमी जनों पर सौंपी गई थी। 1964 में पुणे बाबा केंद्र का उद्घाटन स्वयं बाबा ने किया था और 1965 में 1 मई से 5 मई तक बाबा ने प्रेमियों को दर्शन दिया था। उसमें 1 मई का जो दर्शन कार्यक्रम पुणे में केंद्र में हुआ था और शेष गुरु प्रसाद में। इन सारे कार्यक्रमों के लिए पुणे शहर का चयन किया गया था, जिसके पीछे प्रमुख कारण जो दिखाई देते वह है यात्रिकों के लिए रहन सहन की व्यवस्था सुलभ से हो सकती थी। कार्यक्रम स्थल पर आने जाने के लिए रिक्शा, बस तथा अन्य साधन उपलब्ध हो सकते थे। गुरु प्रसाद बंगला बाबा के लिए तथा अन्य बाबा विषयक कार्यक्रम के लिए सदैव उपलब्ध था। पुणे बाबा केंद्र के प्रेमी जन बाबा के लिए कोई भी काम करने में सदैव तैयार थे। पुणे केंद्र के भजन मंडली हर दम बाबा की सेवा करने के लिए उपलब्ध रहती थी। इन सभी कार्यक्रमों को प्रति बड़ौदा महारानी शांता देवी गायकवाड़, इनका योगदान सबसे बड़ा रहा है। आज जिस घटना 1969 का अप्रैल मई जून का आखिरी दर्शन 50वीं वर्षगांठ मनाने के लिए हम यहाँ पर उपस्थित हुए हैं, वह घटना गुरु प्रसाद में हुई आखिरी घटना थी। Jai Baba. On behalf of Pune Center Baba lovers, we offer our loving Jai Baba to all Baba lovers who have assembled here in beloved Baba's love. City of Pune had a significant role for beloved Baba in his physical lifetime on this earth, and during the time he started his avtaric work and during the last phase of his physical life. Beloved Meher Baba, being born here in Pune, and his first Sadguru, Hazrat Baba Jan, making him realize his highest divine state here, earned a fortune for Pune and a special place. Some incidents which I think are important to mention here is Baba's work started at Kaswapet locality in Pune. In Pune, Baba first time gave public darshan on 14 Jan 1956 during the Makar Sankrant festival, which his lovers of Pune had organized. After the 1958 Meherabad Savas, beloved Baba every year started coming to Pune. His stay was at Guru Prasad, and sparing a few years when he was in strict seclusion, he used to give darshan and savas to his lovers here. The November 1962 East-West gathering happened in Guru Prasad, Pune. In this, many responsibilities were given to Pune Center Baba lovers. In May 1964, beloved Baba himself inaugurated the Pune Center. From 1st May 1965 to 5th May 1965, beloved Baba gave darshan to his lovers, in which the 1st May darshan was held at Pune Center and the rest at Guru Prasad. Pune was chosen as venue for all this program, and following are the reasons that seem to be. Arrangements for pilgrims could easily be made in Pune. To reach program venue, one could easily find a rickshaw or any other mode of transportation. Guru Prasad Bungalow was kept for Guru Baba and was made available for any Baba program. Pune Center Baba lovers were ready to take up any work that Baba would give. The Pune Bhajan Mandali was always available to offer its service to Baba. Baroda Maharani Shanta Devi contribution was highest for these programs. Today, we have assembled here to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Great Darshan program, which happened in 1969 in the months of April, May and June. This Great Darshan was the last event that was held at Guru Prasad. अब पुणे केंद्र के आगे का प्रस्तुति के लिए मैं प्रताप काका को माइक सौंपता हूँ. Thank you.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. I request the Westerners to excuse for the language Indian English that we will be using, because it may not be through their taste. Now, before we have two songs here. One is composed by Madhusudan, which is directly on Baba's leaving his body. And then another song is in the memory of Mehra. The song is based on divine relation in between Lord Krishna and Radha, but very much it will give the idea as to how Baba had his love for Mehra and Mehra had his love for Baba. So these two songs we'll be singing. There will be one very short skit, sort of a humorous skit. You will enjoy that, and then we will conclude our program. Baba dropped his body on 31st January 1969, and just one month after, we gathered in Pune Center to greet Baba on his birthday. That was on 25th February 1969. And the previous night, Madhusudan had composed a beautiful song. We have distributed some papers to the Westerners, especially just to know what are the contents of the song. It is all pouring out his own emotions about Baba. When Baba had dropped his body, it was very difficult for us to conceive that thought. And in that grief, we had gathered in Pune Center, and believe me, everyone present was in tears. Everyone. So that song we have chosen for the morning of the first song. सगुण रूप की प्यासी अखियाँ सगुण रूप की प्यासी अभिवादन लो हृदय निवासी अभिवादन लो अभिवादन लो अभिवादन लो हृदय निवासी अभिवादन लो अभिवादन लो अभिवादन लो
आई रूप प्रभु कमल नयन मधुहास बिनाए जीवन होय उदासी जीवन होय उदासी अभिवादन लो हृदय निवासी अभिवादन लो हृदय निवासी
स्पर्श मृदुल अपनाया
प्रेमालिंगन तेरा पाया दैवी स्पर्श मृदुल अपनाया
क्या नहीं खोया क्या नहीं पाया
क्या नहीं खोया क्या नहीं पाया
ओ घट घट के वासी
अभिवादन लो अभिवादन लो अभिवादन लो हृदय निवासी अभिवादन लो हृदय निवासी
मैं क्या जानूं तेरी प्रभुताई मेरे तो कछु समझ न आई
मैं क्या जानूं तेरी प्रभुताई मेरे तो कछु समझ न आई
ना मैं प्रेमी ना मैं जोगी ना मैं प्रेमी ना मैं जोगी ना हूँ मैं
This composition is based on Radha's love for Krishna and Krishna's love for Radha. You know, Baba had said that Meera is my Radha, and this song will remind you about Meera. It's a beautiful composition. We know that Lord Krishna was born in Mathura, and he was born in a prison. But then he was brought up in Gokul, Vrindavan or Gokul. He was brought up in Brahman Gokul under the care of the king of the cowherds community by name Nanda and his wife Yashoda. The Yashoda name is very popular because Krishna has been very much attached to Yashoda rather than his own mother. And after years of stay in Mathura, stay in Gokul, he was brought back to Mathura for further education, then further responsibilities. And the cowherds, the Gop and Gopis in Gokul, they were so very sad about it because Krishna had gone away from them. And they could not, just concentrate, or they could not focus on any of their usual duties, requirements of that. They were actually become mad after Lord Krishna because Krishna had created such a lovely atmosphere in Gokul, and they could not just bear that separation. And here Krishna sends one of his very close friends by name Uddhav to make them understand, to give them a word of advice that they should not behave like this. And this man was a little egoistic person, man of wisdom. Uddhav, his name was Vidam. He was very egoistic, and he said, all right, I will go to Gokul and I will just see why these girls and these boys, they behave in this fashion. He was a scholar of the principle of non-duality. Advaitvad, that is called Advaitvad. He was a scholar of that. And he thought that he will be able to convince these Gopas and Gopis. And he goes there. But he receives such a reception from Radha. Instead of his teaching Radha teaches him what really means by non-duality and duality. And ultimate principle that she has told him is that the yogis, the high-class yogis, advanced yogis, they remain in duality, but they practice in duality. They remain duality, that they practice non-duality. That is the principle she taught him, and he was really taken back because he never expected. He thought that he was a very wise person, and he falls on her feet. And that is the story of this entire song that we are going to see. प्रेमी संग खेलत सदा चंचल प्रेमानंद ज्ञानी ब्रह्मानंद से रहे सदा भरपूर वो प्रेमी नो निरखे सदा दुर्लभ हरि कानो प्रेमी संग कब तजल रहत निरंतर पार हसत हसावत करे करत निरंतर हार जब से लगन उसे प्रीत की लागी कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए जब से लगन उसे प्रीत की लागी कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए तो प्रीत करे तो ऐसी करे कैसे करे कपास जीते जी जो संग में रहे मर के न छोड़े सा तो तुम संग प्रीत लगाए हमने मोल लिया एक रो तुम तो परदेस सिधारे हम का दे गए जो जब से लगन उसे प्रीत की लागी कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए कल न पड़त पल भर भी मोहे क्या जादू कर डाला है अपना पराया कछु नहीं सूझत केवल ध्यान तुम्हारा है तो काशी ढूंढी मथुरा ढूंढी गोकुल ढूंढा वृंदावन ढूंढी कोयल बन कर बन बन ढूंढी पिया नजर नहीं आए पिया नजर नहीं आए पिया नजर नहीं आए कहा घनश्याम ने उधो से कि वृंदावन चरा जाना वहाँ की गोपियों को ज्ञान का कुछ मंत्र समझाना बिरहा की वेदना में जो सदा बेचैन रहती है तड़प तड़प कर आह भर कर और रो रो के कहती है जो से लगन प्रीत की लागी कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए कहा उन्होंने हंसकर कि मैं जाता हूँ वृंदावन जरा देखो तो कैसा है कठिन ये प्रेम का बंधन है जो है कैसी ज्योति कहा उन्होंने हंस करके मैं जाता जरा देखो तो कैसा है अनुराग का बंधन ये कैसी गोपिया जो ज्ञान बद को कम बताती है निरर्थक लोक लीला का यही गुणगान गाती है कि जब से चले कुछ दूर मथुरा से तो वृंदावन निकट आया वहीं से प्रेम ने अपना अनोखा रंग दिखलाया उलझ कर वस्त्र में कांटे लगे वो धोख समझाने तुम्हारा ज्ञान पर्दा फाड़ देंगे प्रेम दीवाने लताएं झुक के कहती थी इधर आओ पपिया कह रहा था पी कहाँ ये भी तो बतलाओ लगी जमुना की धारा हर हरि का सुनाती थी भ्रमर गुंजार से रह की ये आवाज आती थी कि जब से लगन मेरी तक लागी कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना गरज पहुंचे वहां था गोपियों का मंडल वहां थी शांत पृथ्वी वायुधि में व्योम था निर्बल सहस्त्र गोपियों के बीच थी श्री राधिका रानी सभी के मुख से रह कर निकलती थी यही वाणी सभी के मुख से रह कर निकलती यही थी वाणी कि जब से लगन उस विरित की लागी कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए कहा उधो ने हंसकर कि मैं मथुरा से आया हूँ सुना था वो संदेशा शाम का जो मैं साथ लाया हूँ अगर आत्मसत्ता ही अलख निर्गुण कहती है वृथा क्यों मोहवश होकर यही गुणगान गाती है जब से लगन कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए कछु सूझी ना जाए कहा श्री राधिका ने कि तुम संदेशा खूब लाए हो मगर ये याद रखो प्रेम की नगरी में आए हो। संभालो ज्ञान की पूंजी, कहीं हाथों से न निकल जाए, कहीं विरहाग्नि में जान, कहीं विरहाग्नि में ज्ञान की पोथी न जल जाए। अगर निर्गुण है हम तुम, अगर निर्गुण है हम तुम, तो कौन कहते हैं खबर किसकी। अगर हम तुम्हें अलग हम तुम है, फिर किसको लगती है नजर किसकी। जो हो अद्वैत के कायल, तो फिर क्यों द्वैत लेते हो। अरे खुद ब्रह्म होकर ब्रह्म को उपदेश करते हो। अभी तुम खुद नहीं समझे कि किसको योग कहते हैं। सुनो इस तौर योगी द्वैत में अद्वैत रहते हैं। उधर मोहन बने राधा वियोगन की जुदाई में, इधर राधा बने है श्याम मोहन की जुदाई में। इधर राधा बनी है श्याम मोहन की जुदाई में। जब से लगन उस प्रीत मिलाई, सूझे ना जाने जाए, कछु सूझे ना जाए। सुना जब प्रेम का अद्वैत, तो उधो की खुली आंखें, पड़ी थी ज्ञान मद की धूल जिसमें वो धुली आंखें। वहाँ रोमांच तन में बिंदु आंखों से निकल आया, गिरे श्री राधिका पग पर, कहा गुरु मंत्र ये पाया। आंसू पीकर दर्द छुपाऊं, आंसू पीकर दर्द छुपाऊं, प्रीत की रीत निभाऊं मैं, प्रीत की रीत निभाऊं, प्रीत की रीत निभाऊं। पीर मेरे प्रीतम ने Before we give you the next program, I just say that all the people, all those who were present during that last darshan, they are either joined Baba in his infinite existence, or they have not been able to make this trip. There are very few people like me, and there is my daughter Meherabad, who had performed a Rajasthani dance. What is that? Bedi Bako. Say Jai Baba to all. She is Meherabad. She was just 6 years old then, and that very big ghagara and this ghungat, that veil, it was very a scene to enjoy, and many of the Westerners were very much attracted towards that. So, next program is a humorous skit which these two boys, he is my son Meherabad. He is lucky because Baba has given the full name Meherabad, and he is his son, that's my grandson. They will give a small skit and we will just draw back for some time.
The next skit now is titled We Are All One. Our next item is a humorous skit in the form of a dialogue between an American Baba lover who has come to India for Meherabad's Darshan and an Indian villager. Both are strangers to each other and do not understand each other's language. Coincidentally, they meet each other in a field. The American starts a dialogue in English, to which the Indian gives a reply in Marathi. The Americans, how this became possible? It so happened that when the American spoke his dialogue, the last word of his dialogue was similar sounding word in Marathi. Vice versa, the Indian speaks this dialogue in which the last word has somewhat similar pronouncing word in English. Both have their own interpretations which have no relations with each other. What happens next? It's all to guess. Jai Baba.
Is there music in the skit?
And you can start the mics.
We're ready. We're good. Is there music in this?
They are sitting at the back. You see them? They are going to be performing.
Hey, buddy. Hey. Hello. Good day. How do you do?
How do you do? अरे म्हणजे मला समजलं का मद्रासी नायडू साहेब मी नायडू एवढं माझं नाव हाय दगडू
Oh, I see.
आईशी गेली या कामाला आणि तो बापूस वाटलाय दारू पिऊन एकदम टाईट
Oh, so you're Indian. Good. Look, I love India because of its spiritual tradition. Really, India is a great nation.
नेशन अरे आता नेशन म्हणजे काय बरं हा ते नेशन नसल रेशन असल रेशन साहेबांनी बघितलं का काय मला रेशनाच्या लाईनी? आव साहेब, मी रेशनाच्या लाईनीत नव्हतो, मी होतो घासलेटच्या लाईनीत. घासलेट.
Late? Oh yes. I indeed late in coming to India. But I was helpless. I could not get the flight.
फाईट? आला मला फाईट मारायला बघतोय, आता मीच देईल की चढव. बल्ले गुरु.
Guru? Oh yes. I have come to India to meet my guru. A real guru. The perfect master.
मास्तर? मी कुठला मास्तर? मी तर हा आपला अंगठा छाप आणि ते एवढं वाचणं. छे, आपल्याला ना बा वाटत गॉड.
God? Of course. The perfect master is God. He is the mother, father, brother, sister, all in one. He is the one who loves all. And that is why you have to hold fast to his daman.
दाभट? अरे आता माझ्याकडे कुठली आली दाभट? बर साहेब, माचीस आहे का? माचीस. आयला माझं बिडाचं बंडल कुठे गेलं?
What?
वाट नाही हो, बंडल बंडल, माझं बिडाचं बंडल.
Bundle? Oh, bundle. You mean bundle of sanskaras? Oh, yes. Man takes birth and rebirth with the bundle of sanskaras. And that is why he requires a guru to take him to the real goal.
गोल? गोल नव्हतं, एवढं लांब गोळ होतं माझं बेडाचं बंडल. बरं साहेब, ते जाऊ द्या. कोण गाव तुमचं?
Pardon?
पारडण? काय चित्र नाव आहे? म्हणजे तुम्ही अमेरिकेचं नाव होतं?
America. America is my country.
कंट्री. पुन्हा बा ती कंट्री घेत. अहो ती कंट्री बी नाही आणि हातबट्टी बी नाही. बरं साहेब, तुमच्या गावात थंडी खूप असेल ना?
Oh my goodness. I just don't understand the word of it.
आला साहेबाला काय बी कळलं वाटतं. आता एक दोन इंग्रजी शब्द ठोकूनच देतो, मग तर कळेल की नाही. साहेब.
Yes.
You beautiful.
Thanks.
साहेब, you wonderful.
Thanks for the compliment.
साहेब, you houseful.
What?
साहेब, you bloodful. You damnful.
Oh, you abuse me. I will knock you down.
अरे मी सोडन वय तुला. मी बी काय बांगड्यानं भरलाय.
Wait. Oh, it's Meherabad. Look, I have also got one.
मेहर बाबा म्हणजे हा बाबा प्रेमी दिसतोय तर. आव मा दिसून आहे का सांगायचं.
Oh, so glad to meet you here. Jai Baba, Jai Baba, Jai Baba. We are all one in Meherabad, Meherabad, Meherabad. We are all one in Meherabad, Meherabad. matter what languages we speak, it's English, Hindi, Hebrew, French or Greek. It's English, Hindi, Hebrew, French or Greek.
Hey, dear folks, who is the real Baba lover? Indeed, the one who loves Baba. But, nevertheless, he is the one who loves all. Because Meher Baba has said, love all as you love yourself.
No matter what languages we speak, it's English, Hindi, Hebrew, French or Greek. Love all as you love yourself is the message that we preach. Love all as you love yourself is the message that we preach. We are one in Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba. We are one in Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba.
एकच भाषा ठाऊक आम्हा विशुद्ध प्रेमाची.
एकच भाषा ठाऊक आम्हा विशुद्ध प्रेमाची.
ज्योत जागवू मनी आपुल्या मेहर प्रीतीची.
शोध जागवू मनी आपुल्या मेहर प्रीतीची.
मंडळी, एक युगाची गोष्ट सांगतो बघा. कसं आहे ना, तुम्ही प्रेम करा ना, तसंही प्रेम सगळेच करतात की हो. आई, बाप, बहीण, भाऊ, बायको, पोरं सगळेच करतात की हो. पण मी म्हणतो की तुम्ही मेहर बाबांवर प्रेम करा, म्हणजे तुम्हाला सगळेच आपले दिसायला लागतील.
एकच भाषा ठाऊक आम्हा विशुद्ध प्रेमाची. शोध जागवू मनी आपुल्या मेहर प्रीतीची.
दास प्रतापा नवसृष्टीचे करूया नवनिर्माण.
दास प्रतापा नवसृष्टीचे करूया नवनिर्माण. We are one in Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba. We are one in Meher Baba, Meher Baba, Meher Baba. We are one in Meher Baba, Meher Baba.
Can you just put that mic on?
After this concluding remark from Pratap ji, we have Hyderabad Center. They will be coming after just this.
I have been allowed a little more time, just 2-3 minutes. Usually we have a feeling that Baba wants one to be cheerful. Baba had insisted that you should not sit with a long face. You should be always smiling and cheerful. I have found that some people, they have mistaken this cheerfulness. I mean, making a very big sound, very loud sound, and then dancing, and then making some ugly gestures of your body. That is not expected of a Baba lover. what Baba meant by keeping smiling is that even though there is a grief in your heart, you should not show it on your face. Now when Baba dropped his body and when this last darshan program was held, I have seen I have read about so many Westerners. They have come for the first time and they were very happy meeting the Mandali, especially the ladies Mandali. But believe me, that the ladies members were welcoming the people, welcoming the Baba lovers with smiling face, because in spite of the fact that they had that agony in their heart, but then that way Baba wanted them to behave, and that is why they were keeping silent, smiling all the time, welcoming the people. And actually this has made deep impression on the newcomers. This very fact, because they said, I have read somewhere that all these people, they just feel that this is the Mandali welcoming them with a smiling face on such an occasion is a very memorial event in our life. So many people have expressed that. But then for we who were very often going to Baba and at Guru Prasad, we were little bit that we could not remove that sadness from our minds, from our heart. And when I sing some songs, I feel very much emotional. I cannot just control myself. At times I shed tears also. But this is very, very natural phenomena. We have been going to Baba very often. We have been seeing his actions. We have been seeing his smile. We have been having touch of his body. And he used to play cards with us. He will do, listen to humorous stories and jokes. All that we are missing now. And that is why even though that grief has been driven deep into our hearts, and we try to keep smiling. And that is a very hard exercise for you. I am really, one thing I appreciate here, that very thoughtfully the library committee has arranged for this program, and moreover they have brought out a very beautiful souvenir for this occasion. I have gone through some of the articles. They are beautiful articles, very emotional, very beautiful. Even the new people, one cannot say that these people are new people. They have such a good conviction about Meher Baba, such a deep love for Meher Baba, and that is a very great work they have done. But unfortunately, I have to say that Gokarnaji, very few copies you have brought out. I would have, our Pune center would have been happy if we are allowed to share the expenses and take out more copies. I would request the committee think about it. At the same time, I would like the people, Baba lovers, to keep with this copy of this book and occasionally read it. Your heart will cry. Jai Baba. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू सो मच. अभी आपको धन्यवाद देने के लिए हमारे पास शब्द नहीं है, क्योंकि समय हमारे हाथ में बाबा ने नहीं दिया है. वो पूरा कंट्रोल करते हैं, नहीं तो आपको और भी समय दे सकते थे. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. अभी हैदराबाद सेंटर डॉक्टर नरेंद्र प्रसाद, काइंडली टेक इट ओवर एंड दिस इज योर टाइम.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. As Baba would have it, actually this was supposed to be my slot. Actually Mr. Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna, president of all the Telugu Baba centers. Unfortunately, he had to rush away yesterday because of some emergency, and he had requested me to coordinate this program. Very briefly, this half an hour or so, about half an hour's time. Originally it was supposed to be 1 hour, but again, now reduced to half an hour. In this period, in this duration, we will try and present in exactly the same sequence as it happened in 1969, from about May 11th to 25th of May. The Andhra lovers were asked to take darshan at the Great Darshan. So they were divided into geographical areas. The northern Andhra Pradesh is consisting of the coastal districts of Srikakulam, East Godavari and things, and followed by West Godavari district, where I come from. That was allotted one special slot itself. Something like 6 groups totally were there, and the details will be shared by my friend Raju, secretary of all the Andhra centers and Telangana centers. Then followed by the experiences of people from Srikakulam and Mr. Nori Hanumantrao, who is the Koti Center, very well-known group from Andhra Pradesh, from Koti, Hyderabad, followed by Nizamabad Center, and followed by the last one by Mr. PSK Sharma, who has actually witnessed the 69 Darshan. Not only witnessed, but actually he had composed a poem instantly there, and he's going to repeat it here. That's the one nice thing about his presentation. With that we will end that. Right now I'll start off with what Mr. Ramakrishna had wanted to convey to the audience. It's my privilege and pleasure to read out his thoughts or whatever he has penned down on this. Dear brothers and sisters in Baba's love, Jai Baba, I feel very happy to stand before you in beloved Baba's divine Darbar in front of his Samadhi on this auspicious occasion commemorating the great Darshan of 69 held in Guru Prasad, Pune from 10th April to 10th June. Whereas I said we had the Andhra people Darshan was from 11th of May to about 25th of May. I may tell you that this occasion has been an memorable one in my life. I heard about Avatar Meher Baba in January 1969, few days before he dropped his physical body. It did not make any strong impression on my mind, and I gradually forgot about it, as I was not serious about it. After 2 months, I was transferred to a place called Nizamabad, where there was a Baba center, and it is so happened that the house I took on lease for my residence was in front of Baba center, which was located in the house of an ardent Baba lover named R.S.N. Murthy. R.S.N. Murthy, for all the Telugu speaking Andhra centers, Baba centers, is very familiar name. A few days later, in the month of May 1969, one day when I returned from office, there was a huge crowd of people, both men and women, greeting each other with Jai Baba and embracing each other in front of the Baba center, and my house was on the other side. The way they greeted each other and hugging was a surprise for me, as I was brought up in an Orthodox Hindu family where such things were never seen.
I can't see the color on the short mic of the harmonium. What color is that?
I was informed by my neighbors, Kalyan Rao Joshi, a Baba lover, that Avatar Meher Baba was God in human form, but it did not appeal to me. I thought there are many Babas in India, and there might be amongst them. So, but in spite of that, something started to stir up inside my heart. I was in my 21st year, and I could not know what the divine fisherman Meher Baba, the avatar of the age, had already thrown his net, and I was caught in that net. All those gathered there, more than 200 Baba lovers were going in 4 buses to Pune from Nizamabad to have Baba's darshan in Guru Prasad during that great darshan in May 1969. As regards myself, I was now serious to know about Meher Baba, and I participated in the weekly gathering, and a Sabha was held. I was keeping the volunteers in making arrangements for the programs. I also read books about Meher Baba. I was bestowed with opportunity to serve in his cause. by supervising the construction of Avatar Meher Baba Nizamabad Center, which started in July 1969. Even though my faith in Meher Baba's divinity was not yet complete, in fact, my faith in Meher Baba's divinity became completed during the first Amrit Tithi in 1970 after I laid my head bowing down at his Samadhi on 31st January 1970. In this way, on this occasion of the great Darshan of 1969 made a memorable event in my life, and unknowingly I was caught in the net of the divine fisherman, the avatar of the age, Avatar Meher Baba Ki Jai. Now we have presentation from Mr. Prasad Raju, Secretary of all the Meher Baba Centers in Andhra and Telangana. Please.
Jai Baba. Many people from Andhra attended the great Darshan in May 1969, Guru Prasad, Pune.
Just in case.
One of the participant, brother, late Mr. MBG Sastri of Hyderabad, told me that when he bowed down to the chair kept for beloved Baba, his hands did not touch the arms of the chair, but he felt he touched hands of a living person, and who could be that except his beloved Baba? His eyes were filled with tears and his heart echoed that the chair is not vacant. The following dates were fixed for the Darshan of Baba lovers for Andhra: Srikakulam, Visakhapatnam, East Godavari, 3 districts as a 3 groups, 11th May, 12th May and 13th May 1969. And West Godavari, 2 groups as 15th and 16th. And Krishna district, 2 groups, 18th and 19th. Guntur district, 21st and 22nd. And Hyderabad and Secunderabad, 24th May 1969. Other remaining parts of the as a one group, that is 25th May. On the above said 10 days, lovers from Andhra had beloved Baba's darshan during the great darshan program. I am happy to share that beloved Baba once said, "Andhra is my head." Also, beloved Baba has started the Andhra Center. Now, it has around 300 vibrantly functioning centers in both Telugu speaking states, Andhra and Telangana. Jai Baba.
Thank you, Prasad Raj garu. Now I will request Mr. Gaur Mohan Rao garu to present his presentation.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। Jai Baba. I thank beloved Baba for giving me this opportunity to be here on this day and also on that day 50 years back. And I am thankful to Baba throughout my life because it was a great darshan, and not only great but unique darshan, because in response to call from the God man to take his darshan, everybody was on toes in those days. But Baba was not there. Everybody knows. But what could happen? on in those 2 months, because Baba was not there. Well, everybody planned their visit to Pune according to their own convenience. Sri Ramanra Garu of Visakhapatnam has planned to reserve a bogie for Visakhapatnam members, and as per schedule, we left Visakhapatnam. There was no direct train to Pune. We have to get down at Hyderabad and then take up another train to Pune. According to schedule, we reached Pune, and we were asked to press up in a chowtri opposite to Pune railway station. I don't remember the name of the chowtri. After freshening up ourselves, we were taken in buses to visit Babajan Samadhi, because our time was scheduled in the afternoon. In the morning, Westerners were going to attend the darshan. But so in the meanwhile, we take sufficient time to visit Babajan Samadhi and also beloved Baba's house. And in the afternoon, as per schedule, from 2 p.m., and we thronged towards Guru Prasad Bangala in queues. I remember while entering Guru Prasad Bangala, it was a very vast space between Bangala and the gate. And I now remember, I felt that as if sea of humanity and going to enter into the ocean of love. Such was the queue and such was the attendance in those days, for all these days, as I read in the papers. But when I went into Guru Prasad along with my family members, about 4 of others, my mother and father, they have attended the East-West gathering in 1962, and I, for the first time, I was on toes to visit Guru Prasad because it was a unique opportunity. And on entering into Guru Prasad, I felt really, I remember, and I am so lucky that I am entering into ocean of love. Everything was calm. Opposite to us, opposite to the entrance, the Baba's photos was kept ready for darshan, and queues were held in a line, and they were inching towards Baba's photo. When my turn came, just I touched Baba's photo. At the time of touching the Baba photo, I recollect, Baba has shown his hand like this. That means, don't worry, be happy, I am with you, constantly remember me. I took it like that. And because in those days, I was working as a temporary lecturer in a college, and naturally, my parents contemplated my marriage. And from that date onwards, exactly 1 year after my marriage took place in May 1970, in the meanwhile, preliminaries took place. So, that was my experience. And towards the side of Baba's photo, Mandali members are there. One side lady members, women Mandali, and other side men's Mandali. And we embraced each and every Mandali member. That was a unique experience because Mandali members, latest we know according to literature and their experiences, they are nothing but they have come down from along with the avatar, he has brought these members to the land. So after finishing the darshan, everybody went out of the hall, and everybody most of them were in tears because beloved Baba was not there. So much of love, his compassion, he is compassionate father, but he is not there. But nobody felt his absence. Everybody felt that he is very much there, and according to their narrations, when we left the Guru Prasad, everybody was talking like that. Let us not worry, because he is not there. He is very much there. He only left his body only to dwell in our hearts permanently. That's what we felt. And from then onwards, we entered into the buses. We were led to the buses, and from there to the Chowdhury, where we were allotted. And in the evening, we left for Meherabad, and in that trip, on the next day, we were taken to Meherabad. In Meherabad, I remember I have met Kaikobad Dastur, who was in plaster of Paris, one of his legs, and I had his blessings. And from there, that is, I think, behind the tube in Baba's Gaddi near somewhere, I met him sitting on a wheelchair. And from there, in the afternoon, I think we went to Meherabad and visited Baba's room and Mehra's room, like that. So our trip was like that, and everybody was satisfied, and everybody's heart was full of Baba's love, because he is compassionate father. And see, actually what happens is, whatever words we speak, they are just spoken by Baba, and we speak them. And at this juncture, it is my duty to thank the AMVPCCT Chairman Skelkar and Gokan Srivastava ji for selecting me to participate in this program. And Jai Baba, all of you.
Thank you. Now we'll have Nori Hanumantrao Garu from Koti Center. I request him to be as brief as possible.
My name is Hanumantrao. I reside in Hyderabad, Koti Center. I participated in this great Darshan program of Avatar Meherabad, organized at Guru Prasad, Pune. The program, it spreads into 2 months Darshan program, from 10th April 69 to 10th June 69. It covers all the various groups of Baba lovers all over the world, all Westerners, Easterners and all that. So each day, who should come, which country should come, which language people should come, which city people should come, like that. That there was a life circular date 70 issued in October 68, which envisages the date-wise details of the darshan for each group of Baba lovers covering the West and West all over. Our family is a big contingent. Myself, wife, parents, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, so many. So, the date allotted was Hyderabad and Secunderabad twin cities. Baba lovers is 24th May 1969. So, before that date, we covered all Baba related places both in Ahmednagar and in Pune, and finally arrived at Guru Prasad on 24th May 69 evening at 2 o'clock to keep up our divine appointment with God, Lord Meher Baba. In our group, there was a staunch Baba lover by name M.B.G. Shastri, of whom Mr. Prasad Raj also told. He was initially very much, as most of us we are very against Baba, anti-Baba. But he went through such, in fact he decried Baba also openly, publicly. But Baba gave him such tangible experiences And after going through those experiences and reading Baba's vast literature widely and extensively, he finally convinced that Baba is God in human form. And he was of the opinion that Baba did not drop his body on 31st January 69, but it was only a strange disease that attacked his body and caused his humiliation. And this humiliation phase will end with his breaking of silence, followed by glorification, manifestation, violent, physical, and what, all those things which Baba has sold in serially will happen in his final declaration, 30th 954. So MBG, he used to call himself, MBG means Meher Baba ka Gulam. Meher Baba ka Gulam means Meher Baba's slave. That is, he used to call himself like that. Because the slave never applies his mind. He just point blank, shoot means shoot. But nothing more, nothing less. So this man also, when coming to interpreting Baba's orders and messages and declarations, he will be very careful. He literally followed what Baba said in his messages and declarations. So in that Life Circular number 70, it's a small booklet. It runs into 6 to 7 pages because 2 months program is date-wise it is envisaged there. So in that Life Circle number 70, issued in 1968 about this great program, Baba specifically instructed his lovers not to come and press for his darshan before the dates specified in that circular. On that day only, whatever date I have fixed for particular country, particular this group, that group, they only should come according to that, but not before that. So Mr. M.B.G. Shastri literally followed these date-wise instructions in the circular and attended only great darshan held at Guru Prasad, Pune on 24th May, wherein he revealed his touching experience, which contributed to his belief that Baba has not dropped his body. His experience is, his conviction is, Baba has not dropped his body. And the experience which Baba gave him also, it contributed and convinced him in that. What he did is, when he went and bowed down before Baba's picture in the sofa, putting his both hands down on the two arms rests of the sofa, he said his hands did not feel the touch of sofa, but felt the touch of the soft and delicate hands over that arm rests. Thereupon, when telling his experience, he broke down with tears. No one could control him at that time. And he was shedding tears, saying that the chair, the sofa, was not indeed an empty one. That was his experience. And he is a widely well-read engineer. He is an engineer by profession. And his brother, Mr. M. Sriram Murthy, who also attended the same darshan, there his experiences, touching these experiences, he has written a song in English which savors to the taste of Westerners. That few stanzas, that song he used to sing on every 31st January, Baba's Amar Tithi day, and English lovers used to dance because his way of singing and emphatic pronouncement was so nice. Though I cannot live up to that state, at least few stanzas I will present for the taste of Westerners. Don't worry, be happy, all will be well, all will be well. Baba is God, Baba is love, Baba gives love, Baba wants love, Baba loves you more than you can ever love. worry, be happy. All will be well, all will be well. Love Baba, obey Baba, surrender to Baba. Baba is in everywhere. Baba is in everyone. Love Baba in everyone. Serve Baba in everyone. Love Baba more and more till you become one with Him. Don't worry, be happy. All will be well, all will be well. Carry out orders He gave, like a very fortunate slave. Live for God and die for God, to live forever, ever as God. Contentment with your Lord makes Baba happy quite a lot. Be resigned to His will, and His will will be your will. Remember Baba wholeheartedly, wholeheartedly and constantly. Absolutely do nothing while doing everything. Don't worry, be happy. All will be well, all will be well. God alone is real, all else is illusion. Understood, life is just. Misunderstood, life is best. Don't worry, be happy. All will be well, all will be well. Body comes and body goes, but we exist forever. You and I are not great, but really one only. Life is a game, life is a play. Like a good team, let us play. Like good children, let us play. To make our Baba happy and gay. We are most fortunate one. Baba trained us as a prince playmate, as He made us blindfolded men. We should hold fast to His love. If we cling to His daman, even suffering is good fun. Come what may, don't lose the grip to His state. We should make the trip. Remember Baba wholeheartedly, wholeheartedly and constantly. Call Baba when breathing last. Say Baba when breathing last. Once at least to reach Him fast. Jai Baba, Jai Baba. Like that it goes on. And when he sings it, because my singing is not up to that is 11. When he sing all Westerners, they used to dance here. So he is elder brother of MBG Shastri, who is known as Meherabad ka Gulam, Meherabad slave, his elder brother. They are all very widely read, well proficient, nicely placed. Nothing is short of wanting for them. They are very rich and all that. So he has written this song. And on 131st January, after taking Darshan, on his way back home, he met with an automobile accident. He died on the way. So this gentleman of our Meher Baba.
Thank you, sir, for reminding me of the 69 events. We have the penultimate, last but one, presentation from Nizamabad Center. I request Janardhan Raguru or Pawaji to come briefly to talk, followed by a nice song which PSK Sharmaji has sung in 1969. He had actually composed it and then and there itself, more or less impromptu, he had done it, and he has agreed to do that today also at the last item. Thank you.
Jai Baba. The name of Bijwad Baba was never heard in our area until Rindala Sunamurthy came to Hyderabad on his posting as LIC Development Officer. We all came to know about Baba only in the year 1963. But actually there was no contact with Murthy till 65. 65 we got personal contact with Murthy, and by the time this Darshan program was over in Pune, immediately after 1 week or so we came in Baba's contact, and then Baba's literature, Baba's entire biography has impressed like anything. And my friend Mr. Narayan Rao, he was a government employee. He has applied 1 month leave, gone through Baba's literature, and went house to house to spread Baba's message. So, when Baba decided this 1968 Darshan, Mahadarshan program, Great Darshan program, Kutum Shastri of Andhra attended this Baba's special meeting in October 1968, and in his return journey, he visited Islamabad. And he gave this first-hand information that Bijwad Baba is going to give darshan in the month of April, May, June, etc. Dates had not fixed. So it was, our job was, it was no bounds. We were very happy. And without knowing the exact dates also, we went to house to inform that Baba is going to give darshan, give darshan. And of course, 1969 Baba dropped his body. We were there for 5-6 days, Nizamabad group. And after that, we informed this Baba's Darshan program. We never thought that Baba has gone. Baba is already there. He's there. Baba is there. Baba has never gone anywhere. Baba is with us every moment. So, we informed our all friends, relatives, etc. So, for Darshan program, we got 4 buses from Nizamabad. 200 people. And the date was given for Nizamabad is 26th May. 4 buses from Hyderabad, 4 buses, and in those days this food was also, it was all not available here, so we got cook with us, and wherever water was available we used to stop and cook, prepare food and come. So on 25th we visited Baba's Mahasamadhi, and on 26th we went to Pune, Guru Prasad. It was a very unique experience, we cannot express in our words. All Mandal people were there. Their sister Mani was there. Other Meherabad was there. So it was really, we were feeling Baba's presence there. Baba's chair was placed in the front of this hall. We were all sitting there. And everybody felt that Baba is there. Baba was not. So then I requested Sister Mani to spare few seconds for us to have a photograph with my family. So Mani said, no, time is not there. I said, only few seconds. So, hurry up. Then I got a photograph with my family, with Mani, Sister Mani. So that is, the 1969 memories, really we cannot forget in our life. And we never thought this date will come today, as the trust will arrange this program to share our feelings, share our experiences of 1916 with you all. Thank you very much.
Sharma ji, we can please sing.
Jai Baba. When Baba was physically alive, he has given a darshan programs. Dates from in April, May, June 1969. In January, he dropped the body. So all of us from Nizamabad have come here and stayed here for 7 days and attended that program, body laying program. In May, the darshan program, April will be starting at Guru Prasad, Pune. Some of the lovers were in a fix whether to attend the program or not, because Baba was physically not available. And can you go to Guru Prasad or not? If so, if we go, what is the use? So some of the lovers were in a fix. And among which I was one. I was also in a fix. So to clarify the doubts and to encourage the lovers, the song was composed at Nijamabad in Telugu. So the meaning is, even though Baba was not physically available, his words won't go wait. They have some meaning. Obeying simplicity, you attend the program and receive his blessings. This is the last order from Baba in physical presence. If you lose Baba's Daman, you will not get again, you will not find again. So, to encourage you to hold fast to his Daman, we are composing. This avas is arranged at Guru Prasad. That is the text of the song. So I will sing this song in Telugu with your permission. అవతార్ మెహర్ బాబా की जय. నమ్మిన భక్తులనందరి దరి చేర్చువాడు దర్శనమీయగ తలచి పిడువ పంపినవాడు కలియుగ అవతారుడు మన అవతార్ మెహరుబా. ఆ మెహరుని సన్నిధికి నేడు పదరా జీవా జీవా పదరావో జీవా పూనా నగరంబుకు మెహర్ బాబా నిజ దర్శనమి చేసవాసం. పదరావో జీవా పూనా నగరంబుకు మెహర్ బాబా నిజ దర్శనమి చేసవాసం. పదరావో జీవా పదరావో జీవా మెహర్ బాబా నిజ బాబా భౌతిక కాయము విడనాడినను సాకరుడు నిరాకారు దైవెడలినను. బాబా భౌతిక కాయము విడనాడినను సాకరుడు నిరాకారు దైవెడలినను. అవతారుని మాటలు కావర్ధరహితము అవగాహనలేమిని అవరోధమురా. అవతారుని మాటలు కావర్ధరహితము అవగాహనలేమిని అవరోధమురా. తానే మనలను విడచి ఎటుల పోవురా. తానే మనలను విడచి ఎటుల పోవురా. ఇది ఎంత నీలని గుర్తెరుంగరా గుర్తెరుంగరా జీవ గుర్తెరుంగరా గుర్తెరుంగరా జీవ గుర్తెరుంగరా.
And permission, sir, I fail in my duty if I don't thank Sri Ramakrishna Garu, who was guiding force behind attending myself for this darshan. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Though Ramakrishna Garu is not there here, he has entrusted the responsibility to me, and luckily we had all the participants here, and we had done their best. And I thank Gokan Srivastaji and Avatar Meherabad Trust for giving us this opportunity to perform before Avatar Meherabad. Thank you.
Baba ki jai.
Avatar Meher Baba Center people are requested to please collect the souvenir from that right hand corner where Dr. Govardhan Srivastava is sitting, and he is giving the copies to the centers. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. So this morning session is concluded, and we are meeting again at 3:15 for the photograph, and 3:30 we are having another session, the last session. So please come at 3:15 for the photograph. Thank you. Thank you so much.
When will you start again programs?
Bob, not feeling well. But maybe it's scheduled. Yes, scheduled.